Your romance connoisseur has returned to review another romance anime where, from the best of my knowledge, I have never seen an anime do this before, where our female lead is actually non conventionally attractive. Because I have seen many anime slash manga where the female lead is not considered the most attractive at the school or the classroom, and the side characters are talking about, oh, why would a guy as handsome as him go with a girl like that? And at least me, or maybe the majority of the audience, are thinking, well, maybe she's cute enough. Maybe it's because of the way that she's drawn or the way that she is animated, but she's quite as she is as cute as any of the other characters. Maybe a change of hairstyle and a little bit of makeup, and she's dropped that gorgeous. I think that the reason why the industry does this a lot, or this type of trope a lot, is because they think that if the main characters are non-attractive or non-appealing to the eye, that we will not consume the product. And I don't think so. I think that if you have a super good and tight story and well-written characters, I'm going to consume the product as long as it's well thought out. But that's just something I wanted to talk about before I start officially now my review, where we have the anime. April showers bring May flowers. That's a mouthful, so I'm just going to call it May flowers, where we have our main character Tabata, who, like I said, our female lead, and she is very shy, reserved. She has at the beginning she has a very negative way to look at herself, where each time that somebody is being very kind towards her, she thinks, oh, he's only being kind to me because he wants something. Oh, we're going to do some shopping together. Oh, maybe he just wants me to do pay for him, or stuff like that. She constantly in her head putting herself down, even though that the people around her are being very kind towards her. And that's something that I did not understand, at least for the first half of the anime, where I was thinking to myself, why is she so negative? She doesn't have any tragic backstory. She's not being bullied. Nobody is being antagonizing against her. So why is she so negative? And then I realized that you don't have to have something grandiose happen to you in the past or currently. Sometimes you just have to have certain stuff happen to you throughout the days. No, 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 sorry, small stuff happen to you throughout your everyday life, and that at the end of it accumulates and does affect you. So maybe it's because Tabata does notice that compared to other girls that are more considered to be more conventionally attractive, that she is treated differently, and she does likes to play romance video games and read romance manga, and she does notice that all of these stories the girls are always super attractive. So comparing herself towards others, the very, let's say, microaggression that she does experience throughout the days, that does affect her personality. But luckily, at least luckily, she is not being bullied or anything. And in fact, this is a very light-hearted anime. You don't have the typical romance drama. You don't have any person trying to come between them. Well, actually, there's one character, one side character, called, let me look her name. Well, I'm going to put her image here, Sumire. That at the beginning, I thought that she was going to become, that type of popular girl, but she's actually a two-faced bitch trying to come between them. But she never crosses the line. Yeah, she is also interested at the same guy, but She never crosses the line. She never bullies her. In fact, most of the time she give her genuine advice. And even when she is trying to get some information out of her and try to come between them, she still ends up helping her because even though that yes, she is aiming for the same guy, and even though that in her head she is not as is consider herself not to be as kind as she presents herself towards the rest of the school. I think that at the center of it all, maybe because she's being presented, pretending to be kind for so long, maybe at the center of all that manipulation, she's actually a kind girl. But moving off from the ladies, let's talk about our male, sorry, our male main character, where we have Josuke, who at the beginning I thought that he was going to be this type of super popular but super perfect type of character. But when you continue to see the episodes, he's actually not as perfect that I thought he was going to be. He gets angry. He when it comes to romance, he fumbles. He does mess up here and there. Oh, when especially when it comes to romance, he sometimes just takes people for their word, without actually seeing that there's underhanded motives. So yes, he is not as perfect, but he is as kind. No matter, he always is there to stand up for his friend, and he is the type of person that looks at, because he's the male main character, obviously he's going to end up with Tabata, and he sees her for the person that she is. Yeah, she's very soft-hearted, and she most of the time she is very awkward, but he sees her for who she is. And those are our more interesting characters. We do have other side characters that are written okay enough. There and some of them are not memorable, but like I said, moving on towards, let's say, the story, like I said, that there's no drama, there's no moment in the anime where it gets dark or anything like that, or like, oh, bullying or screaming towards Tabata, oh, I was aiming for the same guy, why did you have to take him away from me? No, it's not nothing like that. It's quite mostly a light-hearted type of anime, where we also have I have to say that the romance between Josuke and Tabata is quite well paced. It's not I do think that Josuke did fell in love in Tabata at first sight, at least when he found out in the first episode that she was doing the flower arrangements before the class started. So maybe I do think that that was the spark that started it all. But he didn't notice his feelings until a little bit much later. But you can see how his eyes would wander towards her, how he will always try to make an excuse to hang out more with her. So I think that the romance between the two of them are quite well paced. So moving on, I think that I'm going to give the anime Mayflower a score of a 6 out of 10. While I do think that I did like the anime because not every romance anime needs this super dark and heavy drama. But I do think that the story needed a little bit more, maybe a couple of comedic moments here and there, some more memorable moments, because it was lacking in that type of area. I know what was lacking. You know, when you in though many romance anime, though there are many type of scenes where your heart starts thumping hard, where you go like and you will wish that you were in that person's position. We needed more of those. There was one or two moments where I went, oh, cute, but there was never a moment where my heart started pumping and I was jealous of it. We needed more heavy romance moments, and that's what was lacking. So I think that that's all I have to say for today. So have a good day, have a good night, wherever you're from, and see you next video.